we've been waiting for this week, Sunday football. Hope you guys are excited. I hope you've been enjoying the baseball and, of course, the college football that's been going on today. But the main event is just around the corner. So hope you guys have fantasy football questions, sports betting questions, whether it's NFL, MLB, fire away with them. We're here to help you guys out on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. As always, we are live every single day. Hope you guys have been enjoying your Saturday. We are here to help you guys out in every way possible. So make sure that you guys hit us up with your questions across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Definitely here for at least a little while to help you guys out. We'll see how long we go. Appreciate all those that support the show across all the networks. Colton, great to see you. Hope you're having a great night. Gabriel, great to see you. Hope you're having a great Saturday night. Savio S, what's up? YOLO, let's go Thielen. YOLO, I'd go with Thielen. Great to talk some football with you. Romeo Dobbs, good flex play? Yes, I do think so. We are live across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Fire in those questions like Big Trev. Big Trev on YouTube. Appreciate you watching. Hope you're subscribing. Full PPR. Rasheed, Boyd, Michael Wilson. I'd go with Boyd. I really like Boyd now that we know that T. Higgins isn't going to be in. Between Goddard and Ferguson, really close for me. If you're in a full PPR like you are, I'd go with Goddard. Just think there's greater opportunity for volume of points off of catches, even if he doesn't get a lot of great production tomorrow. So Big Trev, it would be Boyd and Goddard for me. Appreciate you watching the show. Marquez, Valdez, Scantling, him. Between Ayuk and CeeDee Lamb, I will go with CeeDee Lamb. Both are going to get a limited opportunities simply because the defenses they're playing, but I think CeeDee Lamb overall gets more targets, thus more value, so I'd go CeeDee Lamb. Henry, Waddle, or Debo? I'd go Waddle. I like Waddle. Even with Debo's injury or not, the matchup against the Dolphins definitely has me leaning towards Waddle. Tripod, Hall or Ridley? Tripod, I'd go Breece Hall. Breece Hall tomorrow over Calvin Ridley. I prefer Breece Hall. And Can111 mentions Breece Hall in his question on YouTube. Love Breece Hall tomorrow, guys. Like him in player props, like him in fantasy, like him in DFS. The Broncos are the worst run defense in the NFL. I hope you heard me there. The Broncos are the worst run defense in the NFL. And by the way, by 19 more yards than the second worst run defense. So it tells you just how bad they are. And I know this is going to be a narrative and storyline, but it is something to keep in mind. The Jets are coming for Sean Payton. So I think they're going to be aggressive in the trenches. I expect the offensive line to play better. Maybe it's a false narrative, but either way, then the stats back it up. The narrative is just the sprinkling. It's just a little bit of extra fairy dust on top to make it feel even that much better. But I like Breece Hall a lot tomorrow against the Denver Broncos. What up with Barkley? Do I start him? Still waiting on word from him. I don't know yet if he's worth the start. Do you think Garrett Wilson will explode tomorrow? Explode? I think he has a good game. I don't think he explodes because Patrick Surtain, I still respect him, but the Broncos defense just allows opportunities. Hoyt, Stewart, thoughts on Cam Akers? Kind of an interesting play. I don't love him against the Chiefs. They've got a good defensive front, obviously, once Chris Jones got back. So I like him, obviously, more than Madison. I think he's going to be a nice option. So I do like Akers, probably in like a flex type situation if you're in need of it. Thank you so much IP Shade 45 for getting us up to our live goal. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. That way you never miss a show. Eson, Najee Harris or Jamison Williams in a flex play? Great question. I'll take a chance, and I'll say Jamison Williams, especially with Najee Harris now kind of the second back to Jaylen Warren, at least in terms of overall carries. I'll go in that direction. So I'm going to lean with Jamison Williams. Amon-Ra St. Brown out. I know the matchup doesn't favor him, but I'll take Williams on that one. Gibbs and St. Brown, both doubtful, is definitely part of the reason. Thanks for the question. Sal Maltos. Between Madison and Najee, I'd go Najee. Again, with Akers coming in, I think I prefer Najee's second helpings to Warren as opposed to Madison. So I'd rather go Najee. Rob B, should I start Pickens or trust Rashee Rice? Great question. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Rashee Rice, believe it or not. I think Pickens might outscore him in terms of yardage, but I like Rice maybe getting in the end zone. So I'll go Rice in what feels like a shootout over there in Minnesota. Drew Hazard, flex D-Hop or Michael Thomas. Believe it or not, I'd go D-Hop. D-Hop has the really favorable matchup. Dallas, Lions defense a good start? I think so. I think that defense gets some sacks. Including one player, you probably know who it is, but if you want to find out for sure, it's going to be on our newsletter. Our newsletter goes out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. To sign up for the free newsletter, just go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for that free newsletter. We're going to have our favorite player prop bets, game picks, everything that you need. So just go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for that free newsletter. And yes, there is one Detroit Lion defensive lineman who's going to be in that newsletter. You might already know who it is, but if you want to find out for sure, make sure you sign up for that free newsletter. Thanks so much, guys, for supporting the show. I appreciate you guys so much. It's great to be with you on this Saturday night. Collins or Rice at the flex? I'd still go Rice, I think. Thanks so much, Sticky Steel. Savio S., who at the flex? Dell, Addison, Wilson, or Ridley? Ooh, really tough question. I'm going to lean towards Ridley, just barely over Wilson. Addison's a dark horse here, but I like Ridley 1, Wilson 2. So Savio S., that's how I play it. Ethan, any Lions receivers or Montgomery? Love Montgomery tomorrow, guys. David Montgomery is absolutely one of my favorite players tomorrow. So if you guys need a running back in DFS, if David Montgomery's on your roster, make sure you play him. Should have an outstanding day. Like him in player props as well. So Ethan, I like him. Sam Laporta would probably be the other one that comes to mind. You think Amon got a hernia? I'm not sure what's wrong with Amon-Ra St. Brown. It is a little bit concerning how the injury has just ratcheted up over the week. But I've always said to you guys, he's someone who's injury prone throughout the season. I never expect him to play a full 17. I always think he's going to be closer to the 13, 14. It's just how it usually shakes out. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. The NFL is so physically demanding. I actually think our expectations for most of these players should be around that. Any name now, Kyron Williams or Flowers for the flex. Any name now, I definitely go Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers got a really good matchup against the Steelers defense. I prefer him. Williams going up against the Eagles defensive front. Don't prefer him. Flowers is definitely the play. Any name now. Thanks for the question. Depressed Bears fan. That might need a new name now that they've had a nice game on Thursday Night Football. But Depressed Bears fan, do I trade Mixon for Breece Hall long term? If you're in a dynasty league, absolutely. If you're not in a dynasty league, Mixon should have the better offensive line. Mixon should have the better passing game around him. Mixon isn't the better running back. So it is an interesting play, but Breece Hall, will the Jets, if the Jets get out of complete contention, which shouldn't take too long, but if the Jets get out of complete contention, will Breece Hall all of a sudden be kind of taking his snaps down once again? So you just got to remember for the postseason, are the Bengals going to have some fight? This week's going to say a lot. I don't know if I pull the trigger right now. I do think Breece Hall has a great game tomorrow, but I think Joe Mixon does as well. So I don't know if I pull the trade right now. Amon-Ra, if he plays... Amon-Ra St. Brown is out, guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. St. Brown is not playing tomorrow. Gibbs is out. Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. We know this. Montgomery or Breece Hall tomorrow. Ant-Can 111. I'd go Montgomery for the reasons I just said. The Lions' offensive line is outstanding. They don't have the weapons in the offense like they normally do. It means Montgomery is that much more important. Breece Hall's going to have a really, really good game. But I love Montgomery more than any other running back, I think, right now. Flex any Lions receivers. Keep in mind, guys, the Panthers have a good pass defense, so there isn't as much opportunity on the Lions' passing game with Amon-Ra St. Brown as you think. I think Laporta gets value. Maybe Reynolds, but it's not as much. Maybe Williamson, Jameson Williams rather, but there's not as much value as you might think. So it's not like you want to jump on board with it wholeheartedly. Lou Fit, Christian Watson or Zay Flowers. I'd go Zay Flowers. I prefer Zay Flowers. I like both of them, but it really comes down to who's going to get more targets. I think Zay Flowers will. Thank you so much, guys, for helping me hit my live goal. You guys have been awesome tonight so far. You guys are the best. Daniel, Madison, McLaughlin, or Sanders? Yuck, yuck, yuck. I'll say Sanders, but I really don't like it. It's kind of a mixed bag. I don't like that at all. three running backs I don't like, but I'll go with the one guy who I think is smart enough to be utilized in the offense at least a little bit more than the other two. Would you trade CeeDee Lamb for Montgomery and Waddle? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. To get Montgomery and Waddle, that is absolutely a good move. The difference between Lamb and Waddle isn't that much. Once Waddle gets healthy, the concussion kind of knocked him back. He's going to have great games ahead of him, especially as the running game of the Dolphins becomes the more acknowledged threat around the league. It just opens up the passing game. So opposing defense are going to double Tyreek Hill. They're going to have to load the box enough to prevent the run. That means Waddle could have a massive next 2/3 of the season ahead of him. So I really like him. Montgomery, I'm really high on him as well. He's solidified himself as RB1. So Aaron, I love that trade. Love it. Salazarn, I would probably go with Judy over Jay. It's really close. I'm kind of torn between the two. I might go with Judy just barely. It's kind of a toss-up right now between the two. I think they're kind of equal value, so it's kind of hard to put a certain pin on it. I'd probably go Judy, but I'm not crazy about it. Pepe and Rico, I'd go Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd, Tyler Boyd. I know that the running game of the Jets could have a good day, but with T. Higgins out, Boyd's the better play, Pepe, Rico. Thanks for the question. Thanks for joining us. Jake Boston, trade Breece Hall for Calvin Ridley. I'd be okay with that. I think Calvin Ridley is a good wide receiver and has good weeks ahead of him, so I think that's good. Yeah, I can see why you're doing that. I get it. I like it. Getting that third wide receiver is valuable. I like it, Jake Boston. Good idea. Good idea. User 5894, Cook, Spears, or Odell Beckham Jr. Is Odell Beckham Jr. playing? We've got to check the status of Odell Beckham for tomorrow. He expects to play. Was being preventative. Okay. Plans to play after missing 2 games. Okay, then I like probably Beckham the most out of that group. If Beckham's a healthy go, I like him the most out of that group. IP Shade 45. What was that? That was cool. Thanks so much, IP Shade 45. Fisher Iverson. Should I trade for JT? Yes, yes, yes. This week, he doesn't have great value. Tomorrow, he doesn't have great value against the Titans. But yes, moving forward, he is absolutely someone that you'd like to own if you can. Drew Hazard, flex out of that group. Lazard is kind of an interesting one for me. It's between Williams and Lazard. Zay Jones is a dark horse, but I still say between Lazard and Williams. I kind of want to say Lazard here. I actually think that could be the better play. I'll take the chance and say that. Kittle or Andrews. You got to go Mark Andrews tomorrow. Mark Andrews for sure. Mark Andrews over Kittle. Mark Andrews could have a great day tomorrow. I traded Kittle and Pacheco away for Andrews and Gabe Davis. I like that trade. I like that trade. That's a good one. Appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that follow button no matter the platform. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure you're with us every single show. We are live every day. We have our pregame show at 9 a.m. tomorrow, everybody. 9 a.m. tomorrow is when we kick it off. So make sure you're with us. Hit that follow button. Ingram or Laporta. I'd probably go Laporta, just barely. Laporta, just because the number of targets he'll probably get. Casey Billing, Laporta or Ferguson. I go Laporta, same reason. Laporta over Ferguson. Brandon, should I trade Montgomery now? Absolutely not. I think he's got a lot of value moving forward. Drew, your subscription's about to expire. Wyatt, Ridley or Flowers? I'd go Flowers. I'd go Flowers. Colin Kelly, flex Rice or Dell? I'd probably lean towards Rice just barely. User 6916. I have... Oh, you jumped on me. Throw it back in the comment section. I missed it. Wilson or Thielen? I'd go Wilson. Max traded Stroud, Jameson, Mostert for Ayuk. You gave up way too much. You gave up too much. If you got Ayuk, you gave up too much. Yaba at flex. Kyron Williams, Lamb, or Puka. Thanks ahead of time. Yaba, appreciate you being such a good follower and viewer of the show. I'm going to lean towards Puka. Puka would be number 1. G-Doms. Kyle Pitts or Schultz. I'll go Dalton Schultz. I'll go Dalton Schultz over Kyle Pitts. Thanks so much for the question. Mostert, JT, Madison, Jacob, I'd go Mostert. Jacob, I'd go Mostert. Brandon, so appreciate you, man. Really appreciate the kind words. Appreciate how you guys are supporting the show right now. You guys have been awesome all night. By the way, this is our third live of the day on TikTok Live. So if you guys are ever worried about me not getting to your questions, me not getting to your all your sports betting questions as well, we get to all of it. Just might not be in every live. User 9507, Myers or Thielen. I'll lean just slightly towards Thielen. I take that back. Now that Jimmy G's playing, Jacoby Myers. User 9507. It's gotta be Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, forgive me. Jacoby Myers over Thielen. Thanks so much. Just got back from some golf, but missed picking up Boyd. Oh well. Lethal Jake, sorry about that. You gotta be fast on the draw. Vivian, start Cup and Puka. I'm okay with it this week. One of the rare times. Appreciate you guys being with us. User Dell or Kirk. I'd go Kirk. Reagan or Olsen, Pittman or Breece Hall this week at the flex. Reagan, Olsen, I would go Pittman. I'd go Pittman just barely. It's very close, but I'll go Pittman. Man, that's close. Those are two of my favorite players this week. I might take that back. Regan Olsen, I'm going to reconsider that one, and here's why. Running back, volume of touches. Pittman's going to have a good game. They're both good. The problem is, Regan Olsen, can't you start both? Pittman and Breece Hall, both are worth starting this week. Sean, I'd say the same about Connor and Mixon. I'd lean towards Mixon first, but I like both of them. Pick one, Sutton, Watson, or Addison. I'd go Watson. Junior 14-14. I'd go Watson. Joshua B. I'd go DeAndre Hopkins. Joshua B. I'd go DeAndre Hopkins. I'm dope. Really close one for me. I'll go Kirk Cousins. Just barely, but it's close. I'm dope. I'm just thinking it requires a shootout in Minnesota against the Chiefs. He's going to have to go to the air. I think that's why I like Kirk Cousins a little bit more. The issue is Chiefs defense is better than the Raiders. That's why I've been recommending Love in a lot of the matchups we've been talking about. But between Cousins and Love, I got to lean Cousins, just kind of banking on the fact it's at home. It's in a game that's going to be a high-scoring one. I'll bank that Kirk Cousins is just chucking at some point because they're down and they have to score points. Colin Elliott, I'd go Matthew Stafford. Colin Elliott, I'd go Matthew Stafford. If you guys are watching on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that follow button. Thanks so much for the lemonade. Thanks for the drink. I appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. Make sure you're a member of this great community. Larry Fisherman, Ramondre, or Dobbs. I'm going to lean slightly towards Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson just slightly. Fisher Iverson, what's good? Alper, I would go Ridley for Addison Sanders. No, Alper, I wouldn't do that trade. Pedro, I'd rather have Mostert. Ant Can, I have Puka wide receiver too. Should I put Pittman instead? I think so. I would put Pittman over Puka. I just think he's going to have the better day. I like both of them, but Pittman would be rated higher for me. Birdman 584 offered Hill for Eckler and Lamb. Very interesting trade. I'm curious if they'll say yes to that. You would get a lot of value back. Would you trade Olave, Smith, and Mixon for Chase, Connor, and Atwell? No, I wouldn't. Joshy, Flowers or Collins? I'd go Zay Flowers over Collins. Collins has a tough matchup against A.J. Terrell. Zay Flowers, great matchup against the Steelers. That's why, guys, I'm pretty heavy on the Zay Flowers train tomorrow. Kirk, or Ridley. I'm going to lean towards Ridley. Him. I know that it's been a battle between the two. Who's getting more fantasy points, but I'll trust Ridley to get in the end zone. That's what kind of made the difference last week. G-Man, Tank Dell, or Wilson. I'll go Tank Dell. I just trust him more. Justin West, Addison, or Myers. I would go Jacoby Myers. Look, I think Addison's going to have a bounce back week, but after such a dog of a week last week, I can't put as much faith in him. It does impact the confidence level, so I would lean towards Myers. I think with Jimmy G being back, Jacoby Myers is definitely you saw when those two were healthy, the chemistry between the two of them in terms of target to reception, really strong. Regan Olson, I got Kamara and D. Montgomery at running back, and Diggs and Brown at wide receiver. Brown, A.J. Brown, yeah. Kamara would probably be the one that actually I would bench out of the group we talked about. Pacheco or Nico. Michael Burkholder, I'd go Pacheco. If you love the conversation, if I've answered your question, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're a follower of Butt Fumble Sports. Achan or Jones, I'd go Achan. McKay, odds Devontae Adams plays on Monday. I think he will, but it's kind of tough to be able to hold out through an entire Sunday of plays, so I understand sometimes you just want the safer play. Traded Fields, White, and Jacobs for Mahomes, Jones, and Barkley. Good trade or nah? If you're getting Mahomes, Jones, and Barkley, I love that trade. I absolutely love that deal. Pluex, start 2. Hall, Pittman, Puka, Laporta, and Sanders. If I only could start 2, it would be Hall and Pittman. Puka would be the third man. He'd be the odd man out, but it'd be Hall and Pittman. That would be the top 2. Who wins this trade? Hill, Mixon, Gibbs for Pollard, Mostert, and Cooper Kupp. The Pollard, Mostert, Cooper Kupp side wins the trade. It's close, but Pollard, Mostert, Cooper Kupp, I think, wins it. JT or Mikey Wilson? I don't know who Michael Wilson. I think I go Wilson, I guess. Mikey Wilson threw me, sorry. Chris Rogers, London or Collins. I'd go Drake London. I think. It's just the opposing matchup is tough with Terrell. That's what's leaning me there. Merckx, who wins this? Oh, we answered that one. Gavin Solomon. I'd lean slightly towards Ayuk. Stevenson or Pierce? Great question. I'm going to go with Pierce on that one. St. Brown or Puka? Guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. Amon-Ra St. Brown as well as Jahmyr Gibbs are both out. They will not play. Colin Daughtry, Romeo Doubs or Jones. On that one, I'm assuming you're talking about Aaron Jones. In that case, I'd go Aaron Jones, though he is on the injury report. Make sure you hit that follow button if you have not done so already. Make sure you become a follower of Butt Fumble Sports. We are live every single day. Make sure you hit that follow button. Really appreciate all the support you guys show us every single day. Pollard or Brian Robinson? Matthew Ryan. I would lean slightly. Brian Robinson's already played. What am I thinking? Brian Robinson's already played. That's Silver Z. Need tight end help? Hayden Hurst or Jonnu Smith? I'd go Hayden Hurst. That's Silver Z. I'd go Hayden Hurst. Danny, Z Flowers or Lamb? I'd go Flowers, believe it or not. Chase Franklin, Montgomery, Puka, Kamara. Chase Franklin, I'd go David Montgomery. If I've answered your question, make sure you hit that follow button. Ertz, Goddard, or Ferguson? I would go with Ertz. Believe it or not, Ertz has the best matchup. So Ertz, Goddard, or Ferguson? I'd go with Ertz. Thanks so much for joining us. LC, I'd go Burrow. I'd go Burrow over Russell Wilson. Fluffy, I'd go Pittman over Thielen. I'd go with Pittman over Thielen. Niche. Appreciate you joining the show tonight. Start 2, I'd start Montgomery and Swift. Why? Montgomery has a good matchup. Swift has a good matchup. Kyron Williams does not. Dean, which one would I flex? Dean, watching over on YouTube. I'd probably go with Jordan Addison, just barely over Pickens, but it's very close. J Shoe 2. Thanks so much, Niche. Appreciate you. Mark Andrews for Thielen trade. Who wins? I'd rather have Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is definitely the guy to have. Evan, I'd go Higbee over Kittle. I have Higbee over Kittle. Slade, I got offered Tony Pollard and Scary Terry for DJ Moore and Najee. I'd rather have Pollard and Scary Terry. There's an obvious winner on that trade. It's the Pollard Scary Terry side. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Daniel, you are way too kind, and yet we work hard to have those kinds of comments. So thank you so much, Daniel. Daniel just said Butt Fumble Sports is the best creator out there. We are so grateful for the support that you guys show the network and the show. Thank you guys. It's the sports fans like you that make it possible, because you're real fans who just want to talk sports every day. That's why I created this company, to talk sports with you guys every single day. Hope you're hitting that follow button. That way you're a part of this community every single day. Charter, okay, the problem, Charter, is Deebo Samuel's rib injury. I'd be a little bit concerned there. You won't know because he's the Sunday night matchup, so you may just want to play it safe with Pickens, given Deebo's going to be injured and has a tough matchup against the Cowboys. If he was a full go, I'd go Deebo, but it's just a lot of risk there. Ferguson or Goddard? I'd go Goddard, especially if you're in a PPR. I mentioned this earlier. If you're in a PPR, I think Goddard has the greater value. Bryce, Wilson, Judy, or Rice. If that's Garrett Wilson, I would go Garrett Wilson out of that group. Noon, Walker, time to drop, trade Najee. Absolutely. You probably, at this point, get rid of him. I mean, even if he has a good week, that just means you have greater value to deal with. But Najee is not worth holding on to. At this point, his spot has been taken by Jaylen Warren. Should I trade Ridley for Waddle? Yes, yes, yes. I'd rather own Waddle down the stretch of the season. Ricky, Gus Edwards, or Miles Sanders, help for RB2. Ricky, it's Gus Edwards, no doubt about it. Really like his matchup. Meanwhile, Miles Sanders is facing the #1 run defense in the NFL. Maybe you didn't know it. It's the Detroit Lions. Plufko, that's not true. I'm answering questions by everybody right now. Ricky didn't contribute. Bruck didn't contribute. We're going to answer his question right now. Wilson, Williams. Which Williams are we talking about? Is it Jameson Williams? I'd probably go in his direction. Between him and Wilson, it's a bit of a coin flip. The problem, I like Reed. He's the third option. He was kind of popping when Jones wasn't healthy. If Jones plays, I don't like him as much. Williams would probably be the #1. Bounty Hunter, I'd go with Burrow. Evan, Najee, or Jaleel? Brutal. I'd probably go Najee on that. I don't know. That's a coin flip. Jaleel, Najee, coin flip. Juan, Connor, or Pacheco at the flex? I'll go James Conner. James Conner has a great matchup. I like Pacheco. Love James Conner tomorrow, though. I'll go James Conner, Juan. Grant Hickey, 23. Tomorrow, I'd go Mixon. I don't feel that way the rest of the season. I wouldn't feel that way most weeks. But tomorrow, I think Mixon's got the better matchup, so I'll go with him. Thanks so much, Juan. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the cowboy hat. That's always awesome. Rick, Prescott or Burrow? Rick, I'd go with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow over Prescott. Rick, thanks so much for being with us. Disabuser of notions, Rashid or Reynolds? On this one, I'm going to go with Reynolds just because of maybe the opportunity for him to get more targets, more opportunities with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs out. So I'll lean towards Reynolds just slightly. Lazard or Rashid Rice? Drew Hazard, I'll go Rashid Rice. I'll trust the Chiefs offense a little bit more than Zach Wilson and the passing offense of the Jets. Trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for Jonathan Taylor. Ooh. Okay, Jonathan Taylor isn't a great play this week, but I kind of like that trade. Getting Jonathan Taylor the rest of the season is a really good move. Guys, now that we know Jonathan Taylor isn't just going to be with the Colts, but now he is no longer disgruntled, that he's really a part of this organization, and now they're going to get to blend Anthony Richardson and Taylor together the rest of the year. Oh my goodness, he is a great fantasy own right now. So if you can make the trade to get JT, I absolutely would. Absolutely would. Christian Kirk or Nico Collins? I go Christian Kirk. Kirk Cousins or Matthew Stafford? Bob 11432. Bob 11432. Thanks so much for joining us. I'd go Matthew Stafford. He's actually got a really good pass defense to go against in the Eagles. Might see some pressure. I think you could throw a pick. But I still like Stafford, I think, overall, to just throw a ton of passing yards. Jeff, Madison or Tank Dell? I hate Madison. I just don't trust him. Now even more so with Cam Akers gone. He had a good week last week, but against the Panthers defense that's bad against the run, we can't say that about the Chiefs. I'd go Tank Dell. Jeff, I'd go with Tank Dell over Madison. Chris, start 2, Olave, Nico Collins, or Puka? Chris, I'd go with Olave and Puka. Those would be the two. Thanks for joining us. If I've answered your question, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're a part of this great community of sports fans. Justin, Tua, or Lamar, really tough for me. I'm going to lean slightly towards... I got to lean slightly towards Tua. Here's the reason. Here's the only concern, and the reason that actually I'm kind of fickle on this one is the weather. There's supposed to be rain down in South Florida. Does that mean it becomes more of a running game for the Miami Dolphins, or does Tua just continue to slice and dice? The Giants' defense is Swiss cheese, so I think Tua could have a great game. That said, Steelers' defense has been terrible as well. Lamar Jackson should have a massive game, not just passing, but also running. So I kind of lean towards both players having good games, but I'm going to go with Tua, just MVP having that kind of year. He has a chance to once again at home put up big numbers, rain or not. Niners cover tomorrow. I lean towards yes. It's not the bet I would take. I would just take Niners on the money line. But if you did, I would try to get the Niners down to the 2.5. Right now at 3.5, it's just a little bit tight, but I do think they even cover the 3.5 if you really pushed me to it. Start 2, Kyren, Jacobs, or Moss. I'd go Kyren Williams and Jacobs. Zach Moss, I don't like him tomorrow against the Titans. Ray Ramirez between Hall and Mostert. I will go Mostert, just barely. I still like him a little bit more than Hall. Achan or James Cook. Stanky nut, you got to go Achan. Achan's the much better play. Ram 35. I'd go with Aaron Jones, but here's the issue. Kirk plays in that London game. Jones plays on Monday night. Jones is on the injury report now. So you're kind of tied at the two ends. I'd still go with Jones and maybe just pick up a safety option for either the Sunday night game or the Monday night game if Jones can't go and we become aware of it. I think he plays, and I think he plays well. So I still would go with Jones. Since Odell is playing, do I still put Flowers in? Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about Zay Flowers tomorrow. I'm not worried about him. Whether Odell plays or not, I'm not worried about Zay Flowers. Ray Ramirez, between Hall and Pacheco, I'd go with Breece Hall. I'd go Breece Hall over Pacheco. Thanks for the question. Should I play Dobbs or Purdy? On that one, I might lean just slightly towards Dobbs, believe it or not. I really like Purdy. It's close for me. I'm kind of on the fence. I think Purdy has a good game, but here's the issue. Christian McCaffrey in the ground game could be ultimately where the 49ers get their touchdowns, and that is kind of what's pulling me. I think Dobbs could actually have a good game through the air against the Bengals team that's just looked bad. Cooper, Kupp, Puka, Ayuk, start 2. I'd start Puka and Kupp. I'd start Kupp and Puka. Joey, I'd start both Rams wide receivers. Charlie, tomorrow I'd go Ramondre Stevenson. Charlie, I'd go Stevenson over Jonathan Taylor, but just for tomorrow. Nick RB, I'd go Zay Flowers. The Nick RB, I'd go Zay Flowers over Christian Watson. That's KJ. At Ridley or Nico, I'd go Calvin Ridley. That's KJ. Ray Ramirez, I'm going to lean slightly towards Waller. Waller over Ferguson, but it's close. Kyle, sit 1, Mixon, Connor, or Pacheco. Wow, really tough. I like all three of them. I'll sit Pacheco. I don't feel great about that, but I think Mixon and Connor have probably the best opportunities. It's going to be very, very close, though. Should I trade Robinson for JT? I'd be okay with it right now. I would be okay with it. Jordan Addison or Pickens? I'm going to lean slightly towards Addison, barely. It's very close. Michael Wilson or Jerry Jeudy or Rice? I'm going to go with Rice. Bryce, I'm going to go with Rice. Appreciate you being with us. That's KJ. Hope everyone who I've answered your question, hope you're following, hope you're subscribing. Really appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. So if you have not done so already, take this moment right now, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. We are live every single day across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. There is not one day of 2023 that I will not be live. We have been live 3 times today. I will probably do a subscriber-only show later tonight. So if you have not done so already, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss a show. Like I said, I will probably do a subscriber-only show tonight. So if you haven't done so, hit the subscriber button. That way you can get your questions answered, get a lot of personal attention. We'll do that probably around 11:30. But we will also obviously have our NFL Sunday pregame show. That NFL Sunday pregame show kicks off at 9 a.m. Because of the London game, we're starting early at 9 a.m. We start our pregame show, giving out picks, fantasy advice, DFS advice. We will literally show on our screen player prop bets and the research behind it. We're going to help you guys out with everything you guys need. So make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you join us at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We will be live 9 a.m. all the way up until kickoff of the 1 p.m. games. We're going to watch the game in London together. I won't show it on the screen, but I'll have it on the side. We'll watch it together. I will give out advice for that game. That's why I'm getting on so early tomorrow. That game kicks off at 9:30. But plenty of opportunities to get your fantasy questions answered, your sports betting questions answered during this show right now, tonight for subscribers only, and then tomorrow morning from 9 till 1 Eastern Standard Time. I'll answer all the questions I can. So make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're a butt fumbler. I know it sounds crazy, but the Butt Fumble Sports community has more fun, talks more football, baseball, sports, everything, every single day than anyone could possibly want. RBE, Chase or Waddle? I'll go with Chase tomorrow. I think Chase has the bigger day tomorrow. Sean, Nico, or Thielen? Tomorrow, I'm going to lean towards Thielen just barely. Okay, Sal, best player prop bet tomorrow's early game. Sal, I will say this. Sign up for the free newsletter on our website. I do have player prop bets in that game, but those are my favorite bets. Of all the bets I give out that are on Sharps, our favorite player prop bets are in the newsletter. So Sal, that newsletter will be in your inbox at 6 a.m. tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Make sure that you're hitting that subscriber button. Make sure that you subscribe to that newsletter on our website. Sal, I'll give a little hint right now. There's one quarterback I like to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. There's one quarterback I like to throw an interception. Yes, I'm being pretty cheeky, but when you're Butt Fumble Sports, don't you expect us to be a little cheeky? Sal, make sure you and others sign up for that website or for that newsletter. Those are our best bets of the day for Sunday. Shady Esco, I'd go Flowers over Ridley. Shady Esco, I'd go Flowers over Ridley. Thanks for the question. Jack Steffes 12. I'd go Rice. Jack Steffes 12. I'd actually go with Rice. Thanks so much for the question. Torch Lake Kid. I'd go Romeo Dobbs, just barely. Drew Hazard. 49ers defense tomorrow. I think they could actually have a pretty good game. And Can 111. The Bills game is at 6:30 a.m. I used to live on the West Coast when I worked for Fox Sports and when I was a producer for Jim Rome. So I know what it's like to wake up for those early games and have football right away. It's both a blessing and at the same time kind of a groggy curse, but you can't complain too much about it. It's a blessing, and when you're in summer, you miss it. Bryce, trade Tank Dell for Laporta, and do you think Aaron Jones plays? I do think Aaron Jones plays, and I like him. Tank Dell for Laporta, I kind of like the trade. I think Laporta's got a lot of value moving forward. I got Aaron Jones. Should I pick up Taylor off the waiver wire in case he doesn't play? Interesting idea, but I don't know if anyone's going to jump on that if you don't. So you might have some time. Vincent, Aaron Jones or Zay Flowers? Because Jones is, we are concerned about the health, I'd go Zay Flowers because I like him so much. If Jones was 100%, I'd go Aaron Jones. But Vincent, because that little bit of risk is introduced, that variable is going to change my thinking. I'll go with Flowers over Aaron Jones. Should I start Cooper Kupp? Absolutely. Start Collins or Flowers? Zay Flowers over Nico Collins, guys. What to do with Zach Moss? Lo siento, but his value just plummeted. James Conner or Christian Watson? I'd go James Conner. I would go James Conner. Zach, rank these quarterbacks. I'm assuming, are we talking Russell Wilson or Zach Wilson? I'll do both. I will say Burrow's going to be number 1. I go Stroud number 2. Purdy number 3. I would go Russell Wilson number 4. Zach Wilson number 5. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Russell Wilson wins that game. Does Waddle play good this week? Yes, he does, Cam. I do think he plays well. My only concern's about the weather, but I think he does play well. Again, mentioned this a moment ago. The fact that the running game is now starting to get attention down there in Miami, I think it's just going to draw defenses in. They already have to double Tyreek Hill. What ultimately comes out of that? Waddle one-on-one with a cornerback. a safety, a nickel corner who has no business covering the speed and talent of Waddle. I think we could start to see that tomorrow against the Giants. Adrian, do I drop Moss and pick up someone like Spears in the waiver wire? I don't think it's a bad idea. Moss doesn't have a good matchup tomorrow, and his value's plummeted moving forward. Wandale or London? I'd go London. Joe Bass, I'd go with Drake London. Thanks so much for the question. Dante, as you can hear, I still think Waddle is absolutely valuable moving forward. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're a member of this community. Breckman, start 3. Pittman, Smith, Kupp, and Diggs. Oh, man. Talk about a blessing of riches, Brecken. I'd go with Pittman, I'd go with Cooper Kupp, and I'd go with Diggs. So it would be Pittman, Kupp, and Diggs. Those would be the 3, Brecken. Great to see you tonight. Shady Esco, I'd go CJ. Shady Esco, I'd go CJ Stroud over Dak. No problem, Shady Esco. Juan Milan, trade Chase and Hawkinson for Jefferson and Pitts. No, I wouldn't do that. Kyle Pitts right now looks like a deer walking on ice. I don't trust him at all. Brandon Yans, I'd go Montgomery. Brandon Yans, I'd actually go Montgomery. I trust him. Achan, I really like, but he's splitting touches with Mostert. Montgomery, now that Jahmyr Gibbs is out, he's getting all the touches. Got to go David Montgomery. Both have good matchups, but it's the lack of that other running back eating up some of those carries that ultimately has me going with David Montgomery. Laperio, will Carr's injury have another negative impact on Olave's performance? Not as much as the loss of Christian Gonzalez will have a negative impact on the Patriots secondary. Patriots are getting Jonathan Jones back. That may negatively impact Olave, but not having Christian Gonzalez, that helps Michael Thomas, that helps Chris Olave, it actually helps Kamara. So I actually think the Saints offense is in a better position. No Matthew Judon, no Christian Gonzalez. Sure, they just got J.C. Jackson back, and he knows the Patriots defense, but he hasn't exactly been lights out Mr. INT J.C. Jackson over the last 2 years. So I'd still feel pretty good about Olave. Higgins playing? Nope, Bryce Higgins is not playing. Higgins is not playing. Pepe Enrico, I'd start Drake London. I would start Drake London. Joaquin, okay, this is a tough one, Joaquin. I'd go Pittman over Waddle. Do I trade Pittman for Waddle? Yes, I would. Look, Pittman's having a great year. Pittman's getting a lot of touches, but I actually think Jonathan Taylor coming back is going to take away a few more of his opportunities. It might open him up for bigger production, but it'll take away some of his targets. So I would go with Waddle. Jordan Cortez, I'd go Olave. I'd go Olave over Collins. Tarzan, I traded T. Higgins for Christian Kirk. For Kirk Christian. Good or bad? That's a funny... For Kirk Christian, that's a funny one. I think you're in a good spot now just because Teagan's injured, so obviously you're getting value while the other guy's injured. Try to trade Gibbs or hold on. I'd still hold on to Gibbs, but maybe I'm just the last man standing up on that mountain. That's Silver Z. Start 3, please. Chase, Nico, Dobbs, Garrett Wilson. I would start Chase. I would start Garrett Wilson. And I'll start Dobbs. I'll start Dobbs as the third. It's close. Nico being the number 1, but AJ Terrell still, you can hear it. AJ Terrell's kind of gotten to the back of my head when it comes to Nico Collins. Hoyt Stewart, drop Najee for Akers. I would. I'd rather have Akers, I think. Jacob Heffley, JT or James Cook. For tomorrow, I think it's actually James Cook. Jacob Heffley, I think tomorrow, James Cook's the better play. Luis Garcia, if I'm only starting 2, it would be Montgomery and Cooper Kupp. Montgomery and Cooper Kupp. Brecken, I'd probably go London. I'd probably go London out of that group, Brecken. Jackson, I'd probably lean slightly towards Pickens. It's close, but I'll lean towards Pickens. Drew Hazard, Kyle Pitts just dropped to waivers. Should I pick him up and stash him on your bench? Sure, because if he suddenly finds out how to play football again, you'll have the opportunity to have him on your squad. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. As always, we talk sports every single day here at Butt Fumble Sports. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe no matter the platform. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure you're a member of this great Butt Fumble Sports family. We are live every single day. Trade Ford for Olave and Ty Warren? Yes, I would. Tats and scars. If I'm getting Olave and Warren out of that deal, absolutely. Ridley, Dobbs, and Taylor at the flex. JD, I'd go Ridley. JD, I'd go with Ridley. Jordan, Cortez, Cousins, or Stroud. I'd go Kirk Cousins tomorrow, Jordan. I'll go with Kirk Cousins. Zach, 2008. Zach, 2008. Between Cook and Jones, I'm assuming we're talking about Aaron Jones. I'd go Aaron Jones. Thoughts on Tyler Boyd this week? Love his value, Jaden Brown. Think Tyler Boyd has a really good game tomorrow with no T. Higgins. I traded Moss for Garrett Wilson. What do you think? If you dumped Moss and you got Wilson at the perfect time, great trade. You looked into the crystal ball, you saw it coming. Pete Carroll or Dan Campbell? I mean, personally, right now, I'm totally on the Dan Campbell train. Like, I like Pete Carroll, but I also understand the dude didn't run the ball with Marshawn Lynch at the most important time, at the most obvious moment. I mean, Pete Carroll will always have that asterisk next to him. Dan Campbell, you're just winning me over by the week, man. You're just winning me over by the week. Tim Gray, Ridley, Hollywood Brown, or Watson? Ooh, really tough. Ridley, Hollywood Brown, and Watson, I feel like is like the same player. It's like, it's that Spider-Man meme. They all feel like the same point value. I'll take Christian Watson because I think he's got the greatest opportunity to maybe pop, but I'll go with Watson out of that group, Tim Gray. Santana Perez, I'll go Puka over Drake London. Puka over Drake London. Thanks for the question. Xander Simmons, Puka or Ayuk? I'd go with Puka. Xander Simmons, I'd go Puka. Bryce, I'd go Watson. Bryce, I'd go with Watson. Appreciate you guys being with us. Ed Jackson, drop one, Love or Goff in a PPR. If I had to drop one of them, well, I'd rather have Jordan Love this week. I'd probably rather have Goff long term. Mateo, Mike Evans, or Devontae Smith, who has better value? Well, this week it's Devontae Smith because Mike Evans isn't playing. Probably the remainder of the season, I still say Devontae Smith, but it's close because the competition that they're going to face. Devontae Smith has stiffer competition, but I still think that the Eagles' offense is just going to be slightly more potent, even with Baker Mayfield having a resurgence down there in Tampa Bay. Is Stroud a start this week? It's kind of an on-the-fence start. It depends if you have other options. Nico, 5 minutes left in the show, everybody. About 5 minutes left in the show. I promised I would come on for about an hour. But that said, we will be doing a subscriber-only show later tonight. So if you guys want to be a part of that subscriber-only show later tonight, hit that subscribe button right now. If you want to be a part of the subscriber-only show later tonight, if you haven't gotten your question asked, if you want the personal attention, if you want me only focused on your questions, your bets, that subscriber-only show is for you. I make sure I pay off all of the support you guys show us. So if you want to get that exclusive attention, subscriber-only show is for you. Otherwise, we will have our regular NFL Sunday kickoff show, pregame show at 9 a.m. tomorrow, everybody. 9 a.m. we will have our pregame show, take you all the way up until kickoff of 1 p.m. Tyler A. I'm going to lean towards Addison. Tyler A. I'd go Addison. Jason 21 Smith. Would you trade Puka for ETN? If you need the running back, I get it. I'm not as crazy about it as I would have been a couple weeks ago, but yes. Nobody, 4-5-2-6. I definitely go DeAndre Hopkins. Nobody, 4-5-2-6. DeAndre Hopkins. Jace, I'd go Swift tomorrow. I think I'd go Swift. The TX Tejano, should I start Ayuk against the Cowboys in a full PPR? You can, but there might be better options. It just depends who's on your squad. Thielen, Ridley, or Flowers. Zach Rhodes, I'd go Zay Flowers. Xander Simmons, I'd go Joe Burrow. Thanks so much for the question. Appreciate all those who have been watching on YouTube as well as Twitch and Kick. Appreciate you guys. Hope you guys subscribe. Hope you guys are part of this Butt Fumble Sports community. Jordan Diab Customs, Thielen or JT at the flex. For tomorrow, I'd go Adam Thielen. James Smith, I'd probably lean slightly towards Michael Thomas, just barely over Rice. Swift, Montgomery, or Henry. Luis Garcia, I'd go Swift and I'd go Montgomery and Henry. Luis Garcia, I'd go Montgomery and Henry. 09-05, I'd go Montgomery and Henry. Kind of did a turn on you.
Brandon Rodriguez, I'd go slightly with Achan. Achan just barely over Flowers. Brecken, how many subscribers do we have? We have 107 subscribers, everybody. Unbelievable. 107 subscribers. Is this live? It is live right now. We are live right now. We only will be, though, for another minute or two, and then we will sign off. We will be live for a subscriber-only show later tonight. Ridley or Debo? Debo's injury has me concerned. So, Ari, I lean towards Ridley. Sam, what running back could I get for a cup? We'll answer that in a subscriber-only show. Ethan Ingram, Nico, Tank, or Kyron. Probably out of that group, I'd probably actually lean towards Tank, just barely. Brees or Devontae Smith, I'd go Brees Hall. Waltero, I'd go Brees Hall. Goff or Burrow, I'd go Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow over Goff. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Can I play Cup and Puka? Adam, yes, you can. Adam, yes, you can. User 69, I feel the same way, dude. I actually really like Kadarius Toney tomorrow. I have him in a number of little side plays, DFS lineups, things like that. I think Kadarius Toney could actually pop tomorrow. Feels like a day he does go off. I like that call. T-Air, I'd go Olave just barely. T-Air, I'd go Olave just barely. Appreciate you guys being with us. I'm going to sign off for now. We will do a subscriber-only show later tonight. Subscriber-only show later tonight. So if you have not done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, hit the follow button, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So either join the subscriber-only show tonight. Subscribers get to comment. We'll answer all of the subscriber questions. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So if you haven't done so already, hit the follow button. We are live every single day on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So grateful for the support you guys show us. Thank you. You guys are the best. I appreciate your questions. I appreciate the engagement. Thank you guys for watching. I know there are a lot of places you can go to watch sports content. Obviously, there are a lot of options for content in general. I appreciate you making time out of your day to watch me talk sports, answer your questions, and hopefully give you some good information and advice for every week of the NFL, MLB, NBA, college football, whatever the sport. So grateful for you. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Hope you guys stay healthy. I hope you stay safe. If you don't want to join the subscriber-only show, I will see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later tonight. Subscriber-only show later tonight. Until then, hope you guys just have the best night. Go cash some tickets. Get those fantasy lineups set up, and we will see you guys at 9 a.m. tomorrow, unless you're a subscriber. So have a great night, everybody. We'll see you Sunday for NFL. Goodbye, everybody.